This video shows you how to relate fractions of a set to the repeated addition interpretation of fraction multiplication. Really, we're talking about multiplying fractions. Let's look at the first problem. 2/3 times 6. Remember, we established in the last lesson that 2/3 times 6 is the same as saying 2/3 of 6. Okay, and remember, when we're multiplying, we can look at this problem as 2/3 plus 2/3, which we add a total of 6 times because it is 2/3 6 times. And if we add that together, we can find that we have 12/3, which simplifies to 4. Or we can multiply and make it go a little bit faster. When we look at it differently, we can say that we have 2/3 times 6, but remember that 6 as a whole number is the same as 6 over 1. 6 divided by 1 is equal to 6. Do not confuse yourself and say it's 6 over 6, because remember 6/6 is equal to 1. So you want 6 over 1. And then once we have it here, we can multiply straight across. 2 times 6 is equal to 12. 3 times 1 is 3, which we then simplify and get 4. Now some of you might say, 3 times 1, why do I need to write it out? Well, you don't have to. If you'd like, you can do 2 times 6 over 3, realizing that what I'm doing at the denominator is the same as what I did for the denominator up at the top. I'm just simplifying my workload a little bit. So 2 times 6, we have as 12 again, over 3. Again, it simplifies to 4. Here are a couple of different ways to do that problem. Try this one on your own. 3/5 times 10. Try it 2 different ways. When I solved it, here are the 3 different ways. You did 3/5 plus 3/5 10 times, where I got 30/5, which simplifies to 6. I did 3/5 times 10 ones, which is, again, 30/5, which simplifies to 6. And finally, I did it 3 times 10 over 5 equals 30/5, which simplifies to 6. Now, if you're familiar with this idea and you want to simplify it a little bit more, you can do 3 times 10 over 5. And we're going to look at that and say, I know I'm already dividing. So instead of doing 3 times 10 divided by 5, I know that 5 goes into 10 twice, and 5 goes into 5 once. And then I can say that I have 3 times 2 over 1, which is the same as 6 over 1, which is 6. If you're not sure about this process on the right here, if it's more confusing to you, don't do it. Or ask me and I'll explain it. Let's do the problem. 7/6 times 24. I want you to try this one and see if you can figure it out. It's a similar procedure as a smaller number. Okay, when I solved it, I'm showing you 2 different ways. I did 7/6 times 24 over 1, and when I multiply it out, I have 7 times 24 is 168 over 6 times 1, which is 6. And then I have to divide it and get to 28. That's one way to solve the problem, but it's a little bit more complicated than it needs to be. Okay, what I can do is what I did at the bottom, where I said that I know 6 goes into 24, and 6 goes into 24 4 times. 6 goes into 6 once. So now all I need to do is 7 times 4, which is 28, and 1 times 1, which is 1, and 28 divided by 1 is 28. If I were to solve this on my own, I'd probably do the second one. Keep in mind that for this simplifying, it only works diagonally. Okay? I do not want to do it horizontally across. It is also possible to do it vertically if you need to. Let's try one last problem. 2/3 of an hour is the same as how many minutes? Again, try this one on your own, but keep in mind that first conversion that you need to do. Okay, first thing that I need to do is remember that 1 hour is the same as 60 minutes. So what I'm really saying here is that I have 2/3 of 60 minutes. And when I do that, I remember 2/3 of means 2/3 times 60 minutes. So what I did here is I did 2/3 times 60 minutes. 2 times 60 is 120, divided by 3, which is 40 minutes. Again, I can simplify here and say I know that 3 goes into 6 twice, so 3 must go into 60 20 times, and 3 goes into 3 once. 2 times 20 is 40. 40 divided by 1 is still 40. So I have 40 minutes total. Don't forget to write your label, please.